And welcome back to the Hot Lap, where we are talking, yes, Brands Hatch, the season finale, Tom Ingram versus Jake Hill, equal on points. Ash Sutton, potentially a co-star, but pretty much everyone's talking about that BMW versus the Hyundai team. Who's going to win? Too close to call, surely. So, welcome to Brands Hatch, the season finale, and as it says on the BTCC website, the race for the championship is going to go down the wire at Brands Hatch this weekend, the 5th and 6th of October. Two drivers, incredibly, tied at the top, and no fewer than 6 competitors mathematically able to clinch the crown. To clinch the crown? I mean, let's be fair. If it is not one of them, I will be absolutely amazed. So we have had 27 drama-filled contests, and it has come down to this. They have, if that wasn't enough, both Hill and Ingram have a record equaling 4-time champion Ash Sutton breathing down their necks. And if we want to look at the title picture, there it is. Jake Hill leading, even though they're even, simply because he's on 2 more wins than Tom Ingram. Ash Sutton still there, or thereabouts. And, well, Camish and Cook just about there, but I think they're really, really outside bets. Very much outside bets for that title. And this is the lowdown for the weekend. On Saturday, qualifying is going to begin for the Quick Victorian Car Championship at 15:40. Before that, we've got practice. But the big day is going to be on Sunday for the touring car, where the first race is going to be at 11:30. 15 laps, because remember, it is the Grand Prix circuit. Race 2 at 14:45, a quarter to 3. And the final race, the one that may well decide the championship, or even will we have a champion by then, is race 15 of Brands Hatch, but race 30 in total for the touring cars at 5:35 or 25 to 6. Again, 15 laps. It'll probably just about be getting dark about this time. I also want to share with you quite an interesting photo here. Who are these two people? Well, they are Jake Hill and Tom Ingram in the Ginettas from 2010. Yes. Roll forward 14 years and they're fighting for the British Touring Car Championship. Absolutely amazing. So let's then have a look at the track. We had a look at the Brands Hatch Indy track. It seems ages ago, all the way back in April. And now we are in a position to have a look at the actual track, but not that one, because that's just no. Not at all. We are going to be looking at, well, here we go, track preview. So as we get this is incidentally from Gran Turismo, and you may we are in a Tom Ingram liveried Hyundai as we are about to approach that very exciting last corner where we really, let's be fair, you've got to get it right. It is the infamous Clark curve. So let's go from there, shall we? So down Clark curve, now onto what is known as the Brabham Straight. But let's be honest, when you're actually there and you're driving it, is anything but straight. And we need to get ready for, I still think, the hardest corner in racing, one of the hardest corners in racing to get consistently right. It is the Paddock Hill Bend. Down the hill, up Pilgrim's Rise into Druids. Yeah, we will probably see a fair amount of passing here, if I'm honest. So we've got from Druids into what's known as Graham Hill's Bend. And they call it the Cooper Straight. It is small, like a Mini Cooper, I guess. Into another important corner. I think the second most important corner is going to be Surtees. Why? Well, we go off. This is where we go off the Indy track, where we'll be going right just now, onto the Grand Prix circuit, and the longest straight at Brands Hatch, all the way down to Pilgrim's Drop this time. And as you can see, yes, we are dropping, and then we're going back up to Hawthorne Bend. We will see passing here. And then we've got I think it's the Derek Minter Straight of all places, getting ready for what's known as the Westfield Bend. And then we have the Dingle Dell, which is pretty much a flat corner into into Sheens, which is coming up about now. Very much one by one there. Yes, we do get one side by side. You can overtake in this next corner here, which is named after Sterling Moss. Sterling's one of the best F1 drivers not to win a championship. But down through clearways, and we are about to embark on Clark Curve. And here we go, onto Clark Curve. Put the power down again 14 more times. A total of 15 laps. Can you imagine that? Absolutely stunning. But a few Brands Hatch facts. So, as you know, it is in Kental. If you didn't know, you know now. And it has a huge variety of championships here. Yes, Formula 1 has raced here. Yes, James Hunt has won here. Nigel Mansell, believe it or not, in the 80s took his first ever win. I think it was called the European Grand Prix back then, but still. We've also got British GT. We've got truck racing as well as the touring car. So the Bennett's Superbike. At one point, IndyCar raced here on the Indy circuit as well, no doubt. So they are a massive. It's brilliant. We have historical cars as well. It's just brilliant. And people like Jack Brabham, Ayrton Senna, Lewis Hamilton, motorcycle legends like Barry Sheene, Carl Fogarty, and obviously Sterling Moss have all raced here. And again, A1 Grand Prix. Who remembers that in 2005? We also have the Formula Ford Festival here as well. So it is a major circuit, and I think you could make an argument. It is the second, after Silverstone, most used or most famous circuit of the UK, if I'm honest. And so, I mean, exciting times. So let's get into some of the drivers then, shall we? Let's get into who we think is going to do well. And let's talk about our title contenders first, shall we? And let's talk about this man here, Jake Hill. Do we think Jake Hill is going to win the championship? I think. Here's the thing: he's currently leading. He's won the most races this year, 7. He's got 7 wins, only 1 second, and 5 thirds. So he is the form man. You can overtake at Brands Hatch. It's going to be interesting. The one thing he doesn't really have, compared to even Ingram and definitely an SUTTON, is that experience at fighting a championship, fighting through a championship. And that's the one negative thing, because I think he's got the package. The BMW in his hands is, I think, just a tiny bit better than Tom Ingram's. If you remember when we last went to Brands Hatch, it was Colin Turkington in the BMW that won 2 races in a row. That surely bears well for Jake Hill. But this man is going to try and stop him. He's got the experience of that title. He's had a couple of title showdowns. He's won one and he's lost one against Ash Sutton, albeit it was very much an outside bet that time, but the pressure is going to be on the Tingram, as he likes to be called, the Ingram Meister. Can he do it? A lot of it is going to depend on qualifying, and it's going to be a really interesting Saturday, and we'll definitely try and get a video out and talk about that, because this is going to be, I think now, the most important qualifying session of the year. And in terms of driver maturity and capability, I think Tom Ingram is a smidge bit faster than Jake Hill, but I think Jake Hill has the package that's a tiny bit faster. But this is how much splinters I'm getting on my bottom. I'm sitting on the fence in relation to these 2 potential legends, simply because it's going to be that close. It can come down to anything. One mistake, one brake lockup, one bad lap in qualifying, and when you look back, you can be like, well, that's why you lost the championship. And this is the thing, you can look back and think, oh, maybe you should have won this race, maybe you should have won that race. But when you both go in tied for the lead, it's almost like this is a proper championship showdown. Whoever wins is going to lose. Yeah. But it's not all about those 2, because we have another driver here. I don't want to say a dark horse, but he was the favourite coming into 2024. And he has had a really disappointing season. 2 wins, 5 seconds, and 6 third places. But on 332 points, with the Ingram and Hill being on 365, he is in with a shout of that championship, no doubt. But he's going to have to absolutely do bang hard. And as we saw, especially in the first half of the season, this guy's amazing at qualifying. An absolute legend when it comes to getting up there on the grid on very little hybrid power. And if you can do that, I think there's hope for Ash Sutton. There's hope for Napa Racing and his fans. Now, the interesting thing about Ash Sutton is what is his teammate going to do? And in terms of his teammate, I'm talking about Dan Cammish. What's Dan Cammish going to do? He's on 309. He's only got the 1 win. He does have 5 second places. He's got 3 thirds. But is it going to be team orders all the way? Because if it is, I think it's going to be fairly helpful for him. For Ash Sutton. But this guy's going to want to win himself. He nearly won it in 1 year, and then his brakes failed and he ended up in the gravel, and Colin Turkington ended up being the champion. So I think a lot is going to depend on where this guy qualifies and that first race. Are Napa Racing going to let them race? There's the interesting one. And on 302 points, and I can't believe is he even in with a shout of winning the championship? Sure, I mean, he's so far behind, potentially, when you look at all the race wins, but he needs an absolute... This guy essentially needs to win all 3 races and have all the others to have absolute disasters, which probably won't happen. But it is motorsport. It is the touring car, and let's be fair, it is a cliche by now, but anything can happen in the BTCC. I will eat my own hat if it ends up being Josh Cook winning the championship. I will sing a Josh Cook song if he ends up winning the championship. I'm fairly confident. It won't be through his ability. I just think his Vauxhall, his Toyota, sorry, not Vauxhall, his Toyota is just not, he's got the ability to do it, absolutely, but I think his Toyota is just not fast enough. So spare a thought for this man who's kind of had a bit of a mare of a season. He does have 5 wins, the second most wins equal to Ingram, 3 seconds and 1 third place, just about out of the points. He can no longer win the championship, but that does mean Jake Hill, he is going to be, Colin is going to be Jake Hill's best friend. And what a number 2 Colin Turkington can potentially do to upset both Ingram and Sutton and may let Jake Hill win that championship. It's going to be very interesting, isn't it? So there we go. Let's quickly though, before we leave, have a look at that team's championship. And then we've got Napa on 656, Bristol Street Motors on 545. You got to say, probably going to be Napa Racing there, isn't it? Independent teams is equally, I think, pretty much done. Evans, Howshaw, Powermax Racing, yes. I think Restart Racing have done fairly well though. I mean, fair play to them. The Jack Sears Trophy standings, 453. Now, Mikey Double, absolutely brilliant. Nick Howstead in 6. Dan Zellis is not too bad considering he has just come in, and hopefully I think he's going to have enough funding for the. It's so sad, isn't it, when we talk about people needing funding to go motorsport racing? And this is the top level of motorsport. Absolutely ridiculous. Anyway, I digress. So Mikey Double, yeah, and the Goodyear Wingfoot Award is. There we go. The Goodyear Wingfoot Award. We've got Colin Turkington, potentially going to win that one as well, isn't he? Anyway, if you like what you see, please, oh please, give us a subscribe. Hit the notification buttons if you do not want to miss a video. Until then, stay safe. We'll speak to you soon, and hopefully we'll have another video out come around Friday talking about how excited we are for that championship showdown.